This is a review of the Lego Batman movie, which came out recently. I'm not sure if did I ever review the first Lego movie? Hold on. I've got my YouTube pulled up right here so I can check the Lego. I did review the Lego movie, like 2 years, or more than that, like 2.5 years ago when it first came out. The video currently has 2 views and 1 dislike. Whatever. So I reviewed that like 2 years ago, and I really enjoyed it. The original Lego movie, but I don't know. The Lego Batman movie lives up to the standard that the Lego movie said. I can't really say which one is better because I haven't seen the Lego movie in a while, like probably at least a year. So, like I can't very well remember it. Or whether I actually liked it better than this one, but this movie was really good and funny. Oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure the Lego Batman movie was definitively funnier than the original Lego movie. Like the humor in the Lego Batman movie, just be prepared for rapid fire jokes at all times. And that's a general, not just jokes in general, but this is like a fast moving movie. It's advertised as a comedy and marketed as a comedy, and it is a comedy. But I also think it's like a pretty legit action movie. I mean, a lot of that is the animation. Like, they've really mastered this Lego stop motion animation style that they started with in the original Lego movie. Like, they've mastered it here. It's like the action sequences, particularly with the Joker and his movements, are like full flow everywhere. Tons of stuff going on, and it all just like flows together. And there's, like, neat references packed in everywhere, funny jokes, all throughout these action scenes. But it's not just comedy and action. It's not just comedy and action. There's also heartfelt drama. I'm sounding like a cheesy promo person, but I really did. I really, really liked this movie. It was just a lot of fun. I'd say the first movie probably, or the Lego movie, like the original one, probably had a more, like powerful message kind of going on with the whole twist at the end of spoilers for the Lego movie, which you really should have seen by now because it came out a while ago. With the twist at the end where Emmett, was that the main character of the Lego movie? I think that was, falls into the like real world, and then it's all just like a set, and like it's actually a kid playing with his Legos, and like President Business is his dad. Like that was a much more interesting ending. This one was a little more standard and cookie cutter by movie standard, but it still had something to say. There was a lot of talk about like like orphans and like family, and I think Will Arnett's Batman is actually a really interesting layered character. Like, and Will Arnett was perfect casting for the part. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this in a review or video before, but I've gotten really into the TV show BoJack Horseman lately, which is on Netflix and has a similar it's Will Arnett is playing the lead, BoJack Horseman, and his character is very similar. This analogy isn't going to make sense for anybody who hasn't seen BoJack, but a lot of times in this review I felt like, or not in this review, in this movie, I felt like I was watching a more child-friendly version of BoJack Horseman, which, I mean, sounds like it's a bad thing, but they actually use it well here. I mean, it's like simplified so as to not like depress the kids, because if a kid watched BoJack Horseman, they would be freaking depressed and their innocence would be shattered. But this is like in a way that it doesn't like shatter a child's innocence, but it has some like really emotional moments to say about just like because Batman in this movie, like BoJack Horseman and the TV show, he kind of pushes people away, and that's like a major part of the plotline, is that he's kind of this dysfunctional man-child who pushes people away, which is pretty much what BoJack Horseman is too. And there's even a great bit towards the end where it seems like he's finally learned how to accept people into his life, and then they start calling him a family, and he kind of like freaks out about it and reverts, but then he like realizes the error of his ways. And it's a cute it's a pretty cookie cutter story, but like the emotional beats are really sold. And I think that has to go to Will Arnett. There was a time where I did not like Will Arnett as an actor at all because he gets he's typecast into those like snarky asshole kind of roles, which he still is he is in this movie and in BoJack, but with good writing and like with good writing he can shine under those characters when they're written as more than like two-dimensional asshole characters. And he really sells the like complex emotional moments which they have in this movie and in BoJack. This whole review is just like a BoJack versus Lego Batman movie comparison. But I swear this isn't the BoJack Horseman, but Batman. There's actual Batman stuff here. Like all the stuff with the Joker is really good and wasn't really shown off in the marketing. So there's not much of it that I can talk about without spoiling it. But the stuff with the stuff between the dynamic between Batman and Robin is really good. I wish it had been explored a little bit more, but what they have is really strong. Barbara Gordon is also in there as kind of his sort of love interest, which is she's not given that much. She's probably given the least screen time. And then Alfred's in a surprising amount of the movie. He's in just as much of it as Barbara Gordon is, maybe more. But there's all these fun asides. The jokes are very meta. There's a lot of meta jokes and a lot of pop culture references and a lot of like the two combined in a very unique style. Like I don't think I've seen a movie that's quite this style of meta pop culture referencing, but they all land there's some of the jokes don't hit home. There's definitely some awkward moments and awkward jokes, but this is one of those movies where there's literally like 5 jokes every minute. So like the fact that there's some jokes that don't work is fine. I'd say 90% of the jokes land, and I was laughing a lot in this movie. But I don't want to de-emphasize the action. There's a lot of action, really great action with Joker and his band of villains that he brings in. I don't want to detail his plan, but it's really fun. It brings some really funny stuff. All in all, I can't recommend this movie enough. They were juggling a lot of stuff, a lot of different bits of plot, and they all came together well. It definitely felt the pacing was a bit off sometimes, just because the movie was constantly moving at this breakneck, hurry, or I don't want to say hurry, that sounds bad, like fat. It was moving at such a fast pace, and most of the time the fast pace worked, but sometimes there were scenes and bits and parts of the storyline that I wish were covered more that kind of get zoomed over because the movie's moving so fast. I think a sequel, they had enough material in this movie to where they could make a Lego Batman movie too. I just don't know what they would make the plot of it specifically, but they definitely could do something like that. I just blanked. I'd rate this movie like a 9 out of 10. I don't usually do number ratings, but it was really, really good. I really liked it. Though a lot of the humor was very much like my type of humor. Great comedy, great action, great characters. Batman was really like an in-depth character. And there were moments in this movie where I actually thought like certain characters were maybe going to die, because this movie like built up enough, like it showed itself as being a legitimate movie enough that when there were characters' lives at stakes, I actually thought they might have the balls to kill off characters. I'm not going to reveal whether they did or not, but there were definitely there's some serious moments of tension, great action, great comedy, great characters, phenomenal writing. The animation was gorgeous. Just everything about it was good. The only issue I could possibly have was the pacing, and that was just because it was moving so fast, and sometimes the fast pace didn't work for me. But again, most of the time it did. It's basically the more I talk about it, the more I'm liking it, actually. The more I'm analyzing it right now. I'm like, this was basically a perfect movie as far as kids' movies go. I mean, there was definitely some depth that it could have gone more in depth, but for a kids' movie, this was a remarkably mature and deep, insightful kids movie, while also being a really fun action comedy movie. Just all in all, really good. I don't really know what to think about this Lego Ninjago movie that they've announced. I always thought Lego Ninjago was dumb when I saw ads for it on Cartoon Network, and I think I saw an episode once and thought it was dumb. But after this movie and the original Lego movie, Lego has now achieved Marvel status for me. I'll watch anything they put out and have faith that it will probably be good. See you in the next review. Arrivederci!